Silicon Valley mentors. He was born in Nigeria, and by the age of 14, he was a dropout. Not because he wanted to be, but because the Nigerian Civil War turned his world into a battlefield. He spent years in refugee camps, but while others were just trying to find food, Philip was hunting for books. He taught himself advanced mathematics and calculus in a camp library, solving equations while the world around him was in chaos. By the time he got to America on a scholarship, his brain was wired differently. While the experts in the 1980s were trying to make one single processor faster and faster, Philip looked at nature. He studied the honeybee. He realized that a single bee isn't that powerful, but a hive of thousands working in parallel can achieve the impossible. He applied that to computing. In 1989, he used the connection machine to link 6,536 processors to work together. The result? He performed 3.1 billion calculations per second. At that time, it was the fastest computation in human history. He used that power to solve one of the oil industry's greatest mysteries: how to track oil flowing underground. It was a discovery worth billions. He won the Gordon Bell Prize, the Nobel Prize of Computing. But here is the unfiltered reality of the 1980s. Philip did much of this work remotely. According to accounts of the era, the moment a government manager discovered the man behind the world record computation was a black man from Nigeria, his access to the supercomputer was revoked. They wanted the math, but they couldn't handle the black man. Philip Emeagwali proved that the internet isn't just a series of wires, it's a way of thinking. His beehive model of processors talking to each other is the foundation for how every modern supercomputer and cloud network functions today. He took the trauma of a war zone and turned it into the architecture of the
What won't work is folks just shouting at each other, all right? So I've been respectful. I've responded to your question. I'd ask you now to let me speak to all the other people who are here, all right? It doesn't make sense. So I'm sorry, what are you yelling about now? Sit down, guys. I'm almost done. Come on. Sit down. I'll talk to you afterwards, I promise, all right? I'll bring it back. I'm wrapping things up here. I understand.
White people in America have now come to realize that they are failing across the board. Those who are trying to cling on to slavery, to bring it back to what it is a means of controlling something they're afraid of. They're unable to survive without controlling other people, making others do their work, i.e. the black Americans. This is a turnaround that they'll never be able to come to fruition. But guys, watch this space, because black Americans have really come to a point of no turning back. They will not accept anything other than equality and respect.
Evil. I know. Some of you guys are upset by that. Some of you guys are saying, I've been saying that for years. Okay, I'll take it a step further. It is not inherently evil to own another human being.
Man, if you don't shut your 70s porn mustache having ass up looking like Jim Carrey from Me, Myself, and Irene. Do you know who this dude is? Besides being a certified mark-ass buster, he's also Pete Hegseth's pastor. And then there's this MAGA man of God, Joel Webbin.
Because here's the deal. It's like, what was slavery? The richest black people on God's green earth are African Americans. If slavery never happened, then you would be in a grass hut. Yeah. All right, well, we need reparations. Your reparations are that you get to live in America. You're welcome. You're welcome.
You get to have the Christian religion.
That's
live
right.
better than your ancestors.
The greatest moment in history for any brown or black country is the moment that the white man's ships arrive on your shore.
See, you're the type of pastor to get caught with child porn, looking like Stan's dad from South Park. See, this is the problem with folks like this. They know of black people, but you don't know black people. And if you know any black people, they must be them Turning Point USA, user-friendly kind of Negroes. Talking about we was blessed when you showed up. Oh yeah, we certainly were. So blessed to get your rat-trap, smallpox-infested, lice-ridden ships on our shore. Our reparations is living in America? That's like saying that a woman should be happy because she's beaten, raped, and abused by a rich guy. Talking about, well, it's better off than was in Africa. Fool, that's like you telling that lady it's better off than you were at your mother's house, knowing that you burnt the mother's house to the ground and then looted it and then talking about, look at all you got here. Let me tell you something. I went to Africa earlier this year and there are still people living in huts. And they happier than we are because they don't got to deal with you. And speaking of Africa, why did this master race that you're a part of go all the way to Africa to steal people to get out of the work of building your own empire? You're going to call us lazy. If you put us back in slavery, you got to let that lazy argument go. Enslaving black folks was the greatest vote of confidence in our abilities because you believed in our ability to build this more than yours. If you listen to the rest of that interview, dude is a quote race realist, that it's not a social construct. Race is a hard biological fact and black folks are just inferior. And I'm like, really? Cool. Why all the sabotage then? Like if we were naturally inferior, you could give us the very best conditions and we would not succeed. But you don't have to pass laws to stop monkeys from reading because they can't. You don't have to lynch dogs out of economically competing with you because they can't. The people who invented white supremacy knew it was a lie. Violence was the only thing you were actually superior at. And that violence is why you relapsing into this open-faced white supremacy now, because realistically, and my boy Jay English broke this down to me, white supremacists are like a hit artist that is falling off and they're looking for why they were great. We got to get back on top because we're losing it. So what did we do before? Oh, we had slavery. We had Jim Crow apartheid, but you'll never get it back. You see, they know they're losing the demographic war that they set up. And then they know that globally speaking, the whole West is falling off. BRICS is about to surround them and they can't defeat China and Russia militarily. It's a wrap. So flags at half staff, buddy. That supremacist shit is over. Do you really want to play with slavery, man? Like that is a crime akin to genocide. Do you think you're more determined to put us in chains than we are to stay out of chains? You understand what slavery actually is? Do you think it's all mint juleps and southern hospitality and Negroes singing in fields? No, slavery was cannibalism. It was turning our skin into shoes. It was cutting off our hair and stuffing couches with it. It was literally raping us until we had new skin colors. It was you boiling us in vats of sugar to punish us for insurrection. Slavery didn't last so long because of our cowardice. It lasted so long because of your subhuman, inhumane cruelty. All that, and we still resisted. Like, do you realize how many slave masters we actually poisoned? Do you realize that insurance companies in Europe were formed just to protect ships from slave revolts? Do you realize that Nat Turner and Haiti and Jamaica were not rare? Slavery always been dangerous. Thomas Jefferson even said it. He said, listen, slavery is like holding a wolf by the ears. You cannot hold on and you scarcely can let him go. Harming us is dangerous. And this was before we had the Second Amendment and was knocking y'all bigots out, sending y'all on Jet 2 holidays left and right. But you stuck on slavery and racism while the world is moving on. You got cities that look like the Jetsons in Asia right now. Talking about Africa, Rwanda got flying cars and Ben had drone delivery service, and the American dream lives well all over the world but here. But since you bigots are into the Bible, I got a little scripture for you, Ezekiel 25.